Welcome back to the Talkative Times, everyone. I'm Emma, and with me, as always, is James. Today, we're diving into a topic that's very much a part of our daily lives: sharing news.
Let's check some key words. 1. Sharing news. The act of distributing information or stories to others through various platforms, such as social media or conversations. 2. Misinformation. False or inaccurate information that is spread intentionally or unintentionally. 3. Rumors. Unverified or unofficial pieces of information that are often spread informally, sometimes leading to false beliefs. 4. Credible news sources. Reputable outlets that follow established journalistic standards, including fact-checking and balanced reporting. 5. Bias. A tendency to favor one perspective or viewpoint, which can influence how news is reported or perceived. 6. Fact-checking. The process of verifying information to ensure its accuracy before sharing or publishing. 7. Social media platforms. Websites or apps like Facebook and Twitter that enable users to create, share, and discuss content online. 8. Media literacy. The ability to critically analyze and evaluate the credibility of news and media content. 9. Double check. To verify information through multiple sources to confirm its accuracy. 10. Headlines. The titles of news stories, which can sometimes be misleading or sensationalized. 11. Bias awareness. Recognizing one's own biases and being mindful of how they affect perception of news. 12. Outdated news. Information that is no longer current and may be misused to spread falsehoods. 13. Engagement. Participating in discussions or debates about news to better understand different perspectives. 14. Social issues. Topics that affect society, such as social justice and environmental concerns. 15. Responsibility. The duty to act carefully and ethically, especially when sharing or spreading news.
James, how do you feel about the way people share news today?
That's a great question. Honestly, I think we live in a fascinating yet complex time when it comes to news sharing. On one hand, social media and instant messaging make it so easy to spread information quickly, but on the other hand, that speed can sometimes lead to misinformation or rumors spreading just as fast.
Absolutely. The convenience is incredible, but it comes with risks. I've noticed many people tend to share news without verifying the facts first. Sometimes a false story can go viral before anyone realizes it's not true.
Right. And that's concerning because news shapes perceptions, opinions, and even behaviors. When misinformation circulates, it can distort reality and cause unnecessary panic or anger. So I think it's crucial for us to be responsible when sharing news. Verify your sources first.
Completely agree. But how do you think people can better distinguish between credible news sources and unreliable ones? For many, it's not always obvious.
That's a key question. A good starting point is to look at the origin of the news. Reputable news organizations usually have established fact-checking procedures. Also check if other credible outlets are reporting the same story. If it's only one source, especially if that source is biased or poorly known, it's worth being skeptical.
And I'd add that social media platforms themselves are taking steps to combat misinformation. You've seen how Facebook, Twitter, and others label or remove false information. Do you think that's enough?
It's a good effort, but it's a complex issue. Fact-checking can't catch everything, and sometimes the moderation algorithms make mistakes. Plus, it's also up to users to be critical thinkers. Everyone needs to be a responsible consumer and sharer of news.
That's a good point. How about the role of news creators, journalists, and media outlets? What responsibilities do they have in ensuring accurate reporting?
They play a huge role. Ethical journalism involves verifying facts, providing balanced perspectives, and correcting mistakes when they happen. In recent years, with the rise of citizen journalism, the lines between professional news and personal opinions have blurred. That's why media literacy is more important than ever.
Speaking of media literacy, what tips would you give to someone trying to improve their skills in assessing news?
First, double check the source. Second, read beyond the headline. Headlines can be misleading. Third, be aware of your biases. Sometimes we tend to believe stories that confirm what we already think. And lastly, look at the date. Outdated news can be misused to spread misinformation.
Great tips. I also think it's helpful to discuss news with others. When we share and debate, we can often see different viewpoints and catch details we might have missed.
Definitely. Engaging in conversations helps us understand the context better, but even when discussing, it's vital to remain respectful and open-minded, especially when talking about controversial topics.
Can we talk about the impact of sharing news on social issues? For example, how viral stories about social justice or environmental concerns can influence public opinion.
That's a powerful aspect. When stories go viral, they can spark action, raise awareness, and even influence policy decisions. But it works both ways. Viral misinformation or sensationalized stories can also distort the truth and lead to misconceptions.
So it's a double-edged sword. As consumers, we must be vigilant but also aware of the potential influence we hold in spreading either credible or false news.
Precisely. Our shared responsibility isn't just about absorbing news, it's also about how we disseminate it. Think before you share. Does it add value or just stir unnecessary chaos?
Wise words. Well, that wraps up our discussion for today. Thanks, James, for sharing your insights. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in to the Talkative Times. Remember, stay informed, stay responsible, and always verify before sharing news. Catch you next time.
Thanks, Emma. Goodbye, everyone.